disassembling the server. It's a HP EX 495. That's the hard drive. It's 1.5 terabytes. And you see the model number right there. I'll show the back of the server. There's a SATA, the Ethernet port, and the 3 USB ports. And there's a power port. About to check the inside of the server. This thing keeps access to the storage and the hard drive. I'm about to check inside. That's the front USB connection and power lights. So the screws, we unscrewed it. All right, we took apart the motherboard, the serial port, and the Intel processor. The jumper gives access to the BIOS. And that's the connection with the VGA PS2 connection. I'm about to show you some pictures of the connection. So the next picture is the installation of the operating system.
This is the coding report portion of our project. So the first thing is we got the jar file from this site and imported it into the FTP main class, which is used to store all the methods. So the first thing we did is call the FTP client class, which I named it test. That is the main class that is used to connect everything to it. And the first method we first implemented is to connect to the server. And so we just make it connect to the host and getting the port, and then we see if we can get a reply from the server, and we test by logging in with the username and password. And if everything goes perfectly, it should return a status like connected to so and so. If it doesn't work, it'll say it cannot connect to this certain host. The second method we implemented is to make it disconnect. So the first thing it does, it tries to log the user out of the server and then disconnect it completely. If there's any problems, it will check for that. And the final method we use to test is an upload method. So pretty much it just uploads a file to the directory the user wanted to put into the FTP server. So the first thing it does, we call a input file stream, which will get the file path needed, and then it will go through the directory through the file path that the user put in the method, and then it will go through and close that file stream. If there's any problems,
so we're going back to the server part of the project. One of our group members were out of the country due to family reasons, and in doing so, the other group members were not able to actually test out the code for the server. Now, when the group member came back from out of country, we tried to start up the server again, but the server was completely not even turning up in the first place. So we tried to do some troubleshooting steps. What we're going to show you right now is some of the troubleshooting steps we've done and what we've actually figured out why it was not working in the first place. So it's just booting up right now, going through the basic setup, going through the BIOS. And now it was saying it has its copyright and everything. It's covered by those patents, and it says for Realtek, which is one of the Ethernet card or the internet controller basically. So it's showing a client MAC address that it wants to try to connect to. So at first we were thinking that, hey, I mean, what's going on? What is it trying to connect to in the first place? So we just went through the process. We're just waiting until it goes through it and see what it does. Maybe, you know, one or another thing was a glitchy. So now, as you can see, it's showing two particular error messages, PXE53 and PSE-M0F, was showing no boot file name received and exiting PXE ROM. The reason why I was saying no boot file name received, we realized, was because it was actually trying to connect online to see if there was any other server that it needs to connect to. And of course, in doing so, it exited the process, and it's just asking us to hit any key to reboot or to retry it again. So we are going to go back into the BIOS and see what's going to go, see how we can change that out. So as we start this back up, we were thinking maybe we can go into the BIOS and try to change the bootloader and see if it can, you know, just boot straight into the hard drive without even going on to the network. So as you can see, we're going to go down to boot, and we're going to change out some of the settings, disable everything, make it just run to the hard drive, and save and exit. And once we start up, it goes through the BIOS, but it shows that again. It says reboot and select proper boot device, or insert boot media in selected boot device and press any key. So we realized that maybe it's a particular connection problem, or maybe some type of glitch in the whole operating system in our whole setup here, that is preventing us to start up into the operating system again. And when we try to restore the operating system onto the server, it won't let us even boot into another drive, in our case a flash drive, to try to reinstall the operating system again. So in doing so, we were not able to complete the project altogether, but we will be working in the future to try to get that up and running again, and hopefully getting the code up and running. And as one of my team members stated, we're going to get a visual representation of our application and get it up and running. Thank you very much.